Tell us about the new CD and why did it take so long?
Yeah, it's been your question, hasn't it, Tom? Well, the new CD is it's a departure from klezmer for us in a lot of ways, and it's really us embracing our individual voices and modern composition styles. We like to say it makes a nod to klezmer music because there are about 4 or 5 tunes that utilize aspects of klezmer or have been tunes that mostly that I've deconstructed. But why did it take so long? Well, we did it about 3 years ago, as you know, Tom, and we work with Do Jump a lot, and that's been very busy. We'll be on Broadway with Do Jump in the spring, co-headlining with them at the New Victory Theater, and so we've been very busy with that. And we also did a lot of post-production in the studio, as you probably heard by listening to the album. And between those two things and our various projects, it took 3 years. But we did a lot of post-production in the studio. All the tunes are live in the studio, no cutting and pasting. Everything was improvised or played there live, but with the improvisations occurring. But we did do like some of the sound design, obviously, later after the fact, and finding the right thing in working with Dogfish Sound, Drew Canulett at Dogfish Sound. That took 3 years.
When you say deconstructing klezmer tunes, what do you mean?
Well, there's a song on there called Havanetse that I deconstructed, and it's a 32 or 48 bar tune. I can't remember exactly. I took about 16 bars that inspired me, or 20 bars, and I reharmonized it, and I took sections of it and repeated it and put figures in and changed the melody a little bit at times. And it's actually an Israeli dance tune that I played with Jack Yankel Falk years ago, and it stuck with me, an aspect of it. So I took artistic liberties with it and just used motifs and ideas and turned it into a new thing.
If I had heard that tune before, would I recognize it?
Actually, that tune, yes.
Yeah.
Others that have heard it, that know the tune, have recognized it, but are usually appalled unless they are very open-minded. And those that are open-minded, it takes you on a journey. It's, as I say, grabs you by the throat and doesn't let go.
So the album is a step away from klezmer, but the band itself is stepping back into klezmer, aren't you?
With the reference to doing some of the vocal stuff I was talking about. Yes, and things go in cycles. We go through muses and try things. The album's name Reach is no coincidence. We wanted to explore and expand and bring in all of our influences and try on our individual compositional hats and things we'd been writing and trying for years and stretch our muscles and do that. And my background's a lot of it's in jazz and Latin music, and so that came out in my compositions along with some rock influences, obviously, and stuff like that. Yeah.
So tell me about these vocal projects that the band's that you're doing and going to do.
Yeah, it's a dream right now, but I'm really into trance music a lot from different cultures, and I've been in for years. And a tune on the CD, Slow Beginnings, has some of that aspect to it. It's very meditative, very minimalistic, and Ralph's tune, The Grin File, also gets trancey and takes you into a zone. And that's something that I'm really interested in exploring. So I'm going to be writing in that direction a little bit more, I think. And Jack Falk, we believe, right now we're having some serious talks with. We've worked with him and done some live stuff where he sings with us, and we're hoping to move into a place with him and maybe some backup singers even, where we're doing some stuff that I like accessibility right now in terms of groove and groove and getting people to be able to relate to it and move to it. The album has some of that, but it was also a very big exploratory avant-garde period for us too.
In years past, the band was everywhere. I mean, you had regular weekly gigs, and you couldn't go anywhere without seeing Klezmocracy.
Yeah.
Will we see more of Klezmocracy?
Yes, you will. We are stepping back into doing that more. The clubs don't pay that much, so we were doing a lot of corporate work and wedding gigs and stuff like that. And but if we start getting this vocalist thing going, I mean, for the CD release, we've been playing a lot. And there's a lot of excitement seeming to be generated by the new CD that we're quite proud of. Whether we move into with the vocalist or not, but I think we will be doing some of that for sure. you will definitely be seeing more of us.
What do the live gigs do to the creative energy of the band and the creative evolution of the band?
Are you asking like how does the live gig help inform us?
Yeah.
I look at playing live music and interacting with an audience as kind of a transfer of energy. I look at it as literally on a physical level that you can measure. We're pushing sound out through speakers or instruments, and that is hitting people, and that's coming back to us. On a quantum physics level, if you want to go there, we're pushing molecules, and that's what's happening. We all know that.
Yeah.
So I like to think that the live shows definitely influence how we play and how we respond. We're an improvising unit. My background's in jazz mainly, and some of the other guys have done a lot more improvising music, not necessarily jazz. Damien's done a lot of jazz, and but I like to think of us as improvisers, and so the songs have their form. The songs we play, the songs on the CD, but each night things are a little different, and that's informed by our mood, our relationship to the audience, and how the audience is interacting with us.
Okay, well, who is in the band now?
Well, the core members, me and Ralph Huntley are the beginning of it back in 2002, and about 2003 we brought Courtney Vondrale in, and since then me and Courtney and Ralph have been the core unit. The band's co-led by me and Ralph, and now we have Damien Erskine on bass, who's a phenomenal bass player and adds just a nice solid foundation, along with my drumming, and Ralph. The rhythm section is just out of this world in this band right now, and we have Jason Dumars on saxophones and effects, and we like to call him our stunt saxophone player because he goes to ethereal realms on the saxophone, bringing in what I like to think of as bird sounds and everything to giant technical flights of, fiery soloing. Fiery soloing, and Courtney brings his amazing musicality, and he's a Swiss Army knife as a musician, right? He's a multi-instrumentalist, so he'll bring slide guitar at times and accordion, but mainly at this show he'll be doing saxophones and some effects also.
And the details on the show?
June 11th, Saturday night at Alberta Rose Theater. It'll be 2 sets. We're considering it a concert along with the CD release, in the sense we'll be playing the entire new CD. We'll be playing a few old favorites, and in the second set we'll be bringing in Cantor Bletstein from Neve Shalom, and a woodwinds player named Ed Krause. He now took over the Yiddish Hour at Kebu from Jack Falk, and we'll be doing some vocal numbers in the second set. Jack Falk will not be joining us, but if he would have, he could have. He'll be out of town. But yeah, so it'll be a night to remember.